Hey guys, and welcome to PriceBaba's Conversation episode 3. I hope you guys enjoyed the last 2 episodes where we basically talk about tech. So this is me, Rohan.
Me, Ankur.
And Aditya.
Right. So today we are gonna look at the phones that have made it to PriceBaba's desks this week. So starting with the Xperia Z3 Compact, we have the iPhone 6, which is going to go on sale in India in a day or two. We have the Canvas Nitro from Micromax. We also have what looks like a portable bomb, but it's not. It's like,
He will tell you what it is.
yeah, we'll tell you what it is.
It hasn't set off yet. So.
Yeah. So in due time. So no, that's actually that's a Max feature phone made by the company Max, and the best part about this phone is that it has a 5200 milliampere hour battery.
I think that's the most battery packed in a phone.
feature
You know,
phone?
We've seen to date. Yeah,
to date.
we've seen to date.
Yeah.
So I mean, the usability is amazing because a lot of people who want to buy feature phones, or people who used to love when their feature phones used to last for 2-3 days, where a smartphone today doesn't even last a single day. You know what? We're not going to get into the whole battery life debate because you can see episode 2 because we've been bitching and ranting a lot
About battery,
battery life in that
a lot
episode.
about it, yeah.
So moving on, but this phone should last what? Like a week
So
maybe?
I think more than a week. It's been 3 or 4 days, and it's
Right.
still at 50%. So
Right.
quite a lot of it. Yeah, and it comes with a torch. So.
Right. So it comes with a torch. It comes with a battery. The most interesting part about a battery is that there is a USB port to the side. So let me try and quickly.
So
try
this
and
is a
open this
feature
up.
phone which
Yeah,
should
it's on the
accompany your smartphone, and
Or
this
the other
can
way.
charge your smartphone, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So
So-
this is a feature phone that can charge your smartphone probably one time over, or maybe more
Yeah,
than
more than that.
Yeah. So there's a full-size USB port here, which you can use to plug in your normal smartphone data cable, micro USB cable. There is a tiny camera at the back. I don't think there
Yeah,
is.
it's
It's
not
not
worth
worth
clicking.
mentioning. Yeah. It's probably just there for the heck of being there.
Yeah.
You know. So
And for a 2000 rupee phone, it
Yeah.
has killer looks.
Yeah.
Believe
It's
me.
got an antenna as well.
oh yeah.
So anyways, enough of the dynamite. It's just
Okay.
an amazing phone.
Yeah.
It's selling on Infibeam for 1999. I think
Right.
it's a good phone.
It's a good phone,
the
but
phone of the year that we've been waiting for so
Yeah.
far. We have it right here.
So yeah.
The Z3 Compact.
no, so Sony actually advertises on their product page. If you go on the Sony product
Oh,
page,
yeah.
this is the phone that's going to give the iPhone 6 nightmares. So
Is it true?
Yeah,
I think you've been using this.
Yeah, I've been using this for a week, and it's a really good phone. So battery life is amazing. I think it can go with heavy use more than a day easily.
Okay.
And the best feature is fast charging, like we discussed in episode 2. You know, if you can't cram in a lot of battery, please make it fast.
So how fast?
So it would take around 1 hour to charge completely. 1 hour to 1 hour,
Wow.
10-20 minutes.
I think I
and-
saw a tweet from Samsung today which said the Note 4 can charge 50% in 30 minutes. That's not
Yes,
bad either.
yes. Note 4 also has similar
That-
fast charging
Yeah,
capabilities.
that's
So
pretty
that
cool.
really helps,
So-
you know, when you don't have a lot of time
Yeah.
and you're short
Yeah.
of battery life.
And the standby time is pretty awesome, right? I
Yeah.
mean, they have something called stamina mode.
Right.
Sony has been putting stamina mode in these phones for a long time, where it will basically, the moment you turn the phone into standby, it will, the apps that usually keep pinging the internet, even in the background,
Oh.
it basically just disables that.
You know, it shows
So basically things which iOS tries to do at OS level, since Android is more fragmented.
You can
Sony is building its own
Its own,
layer
yes.
to protect battery
Yes,
life.
yes.
so,
So
you know,
that's-
here you can see it shows that, you know, it'll run for say 16 hours.
Right. So that is basically the stamina mode. Then there is the ultra stamina mode.
Okay.
Yes, you know. So Aditya, what's that like?
So what ultra stamina mode does is it
9 days?
Yeah, that
This is
what-
9 days?
Yes, it says it's gonna go for 9 days. So you know what it's gonna do is it's gonna basically convert your smartphone into a feature phone. It will only allow you to call, text, use the camera a bit, and it just switches off everything else.
Right. So there is no app
But I can
drawer,
make
there's
calls.
nothing.
No, so there's no addresses. You can make calls, you can text, you can also use the camera.
Okay, it's telling me standby time of 9
9
days.
days, yeah.
No, it's saying 11 days and standby, 9
And 9 days of
hours.
usage.
Yeah.
So, you know, you just need to activate it, and after it's activated, it completely shuts down. So, you don't have the app drawer. You only have a couple of icons on the home screen which are all the features that can be used.
Right. So basically,
is it
just
similar to what the S5 had?
Yes.
I haven't checked.
And that is
and that's what you want, right? At the end of the day, when your battery is hitting that 15%, 10% mark,
Yeah.
what you really want is something that will just preserve the phone part of it, because you're not really going to shoot HD videos when your phone has 10% battery. I mean, that's unrealistic.
Yeah.
It's going to die in a minute or two. But if it can sustain for a long period of time, just so that you can make that emergency phone call, or till the time you find a near power
Countless
outlet.
times I've been stranded without
Right.
any power on my phone, and then go to a shop or restaurant and try and find a charger. It's
So
a bit-
that's
it's a
good.
pain.
That's good. Anyway, moving from the battery, how's the camera on this thing?
The camera is a 20.7 megapixel sensor. It's probably the biggest sensor that, in terms of megapixel put in a phone of this size. We've also compared it with the iPhone 5s, and we found it to be just about average. The 5s did click some better images,
So stop the presses. So you're telling me that a 20.7
Seven.
megapixel camera didn't shoot as
So-
good, better
Yeah.
images than a 8 megapixel
Because
iPhone 5?
It's mandatory if you don't have an iPhone, you don't have an iPhone.
no, because megapixel.
But you have money.
So megapixel never, it won't give you a how the basically the phone renders the images.
Right.
So
right. It's all up
megapixel
to the
is
sensor.
it
it's all up
depends
to
on how the
software,
sensor
right.
produces the image. So
That probably are jumping over here, but we just got
I think
this
people have been
today.
waiting for us to talk
Yeah.
on the
Today morning.
iPhone 6.
And the camera, the slow-mo video on this phone, it just blows me away.
It is
This
awesome.
is crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So I've shot this from a moving auto rickshaw today morning, and luckily I saw Prithvish riding the bike next to me on the auto rickshaw and clicked this. I haven't used too many phones, but I think this is far better than what I have seen.
But this is 240 FPS, just twice of that.
And that has brought us to the iPhone
Yeah,
6.
yeah.
This is not a 6 Plus, this is the smaller version. This doesn't bend.
Yes.
And now I'm testing that.
Yeah.
But what's special about the iPhone 6, Aditya, Rohan, what do you think? It's slim. Putting it
Way slim.
next
Way,
to
way
the
slim.
5S.
Yeah.
It's a larger display. My fingers have magically grown, so I think on a serious note, Apple I think is doing a U-turn on a lot of things it said before.
Yeah.
Who will use a large phone?
They made
7-inch
an
tablets
ad.
are dead on arrival, and they have a very embarrassing ad now.
Which,
So
makes fun
no
of
wonder
it.
the competition has been advertising that welcome to the large screen. We have been doing it for years. Then you hear interviews of Tim Cook, Jonathan Ive talking about how this was the right time for a large screen.
Yeah.
I don't quite believe that. What do you think?
50%, crap, and probably 50% believable. Because we had the moving to the back of the screen with that gesture, instead of having to stretch your finger all the way up to top to hit the back button to go back to the previous screen on any application. They had this system-wide gesture.
Yeah.
And Phil Schiller during the keynote said that, we've been planning for this because we knew big phones were coming. So let us, incorporate this. So they did that in iOS 7.
So one positive way to say is that Apple has been preparing its user and trying to gradually increase screen sizes and take them there. Another way to say is that they now see that large screens are popular and they want to counter Android.
Absolutely.
And they now have an entire page on apple.com which says switching from Android to iOS.
Wow.
Yeah, so the good old
Wow.
days of PC to Mac is back, right?
Seriously?
Yeah, they have a page
I
on how to
have
move.
You know what, I'm just going to read it back because I totally don't know this.
Yeah,
Wow.
I saw that page.
Okay. No, but they also have this, they have put this thing called reachability.
Yeah.
So the moment you double tap on the home button, it brings the entire menu down to 50% of the, the length of the screen.
And
So-
I haven't used this long enough to know
whether it's useful
if
or
it's
not.
useful
Yeah, right,
or not.
right.
In fact, I don't even have my SIM card on this yet.
Right.
But what I do know that a larger screen, I have been using a Moto X for a long time now. It helps me type faster because the keyboard becomes a little more wide. And iOS keyboard plus a larger screen, I look forward to typing on this and figuring how that would be.
Alright.
And iOS 8 brings swipe, and let's not get into the whole iOS 8 thing.
Right.
But I think iOS 8 will work better than any other device. Let's put it this way that Apple knew that larger screens are important. Somewhere they missed out on how much larger screen could make a difference.
Yeah.
So they did try to incrementally go to 4-inch, and now they have just done away with the
Suddenly,
4-inch.
yeah.
They've got a 4.7-inch
So I think it's
and a 5.5.
That's a huge jump.
It's a huge
That's a huge jump
It's a
because
huge jump. And I'm sure that I'm going to miss the 4-inch a bit as well. I was very comfortable with that screen size, but I don't know if just my fingers magically growing is enough to.
Well, with the iPhone 5s selling for 30,000, you can still, you still have a year to pick one up and maybe, live with it for a couple of more years.
Yeah, so I don't know, this was always true for any hardware you buy, but with the last 2 software releases, I think Apple has made us feel that it's not that invincible now as a device.
Right.
They can screw up.
Right. I don't know if it's more about screwing up or it's very timely if you see, like the iPhone, the iOS 7 completely screwed over the iPhone 4. It made it almost unusable.
iPad mini is practically
right. So the iPad mini, which shares the same specs as the iPhone 4S. So what's your opinion? Like, how's the iOS 8 on it?
It started to just 2 applications running. One of them is a game. I can see a small lag. I'm going in the settings menu trying to change the date.
Right.
So it's not unusable like the iPhone 4 was with iOS 7. But it's bad. Infinity Blade started to lag on the iPad mini with the iOS 7 update itself. It shipped with iOS 6, I think. So iOS 8 certainly pushes it a little more towards lag.
So maybe the whole iPhone 4, iOS 7, debacle would probably be squarely blamed on the single-core A4 chip of the iPhone 4. Maybe.
I don't care.
Right.
But the brand proposition is all about giving a great user experience. Don't give me that OS if it doesn't work for me. Or strip it down further.
Yeah, but then you'll start calling out fragmentation.
Anyways, so all I'm saying, the OS and hardware, which used to be seamless, if I press a button on the iPhone, I would always be sure and proud that what I intended to do would happen. That assurity has been sort of dented a bit.
Alright.
And
but not if you buy the latest and greatest. So, one thing that struck me, I think one of our editors, Kushan, he is absolutely disappointed with the design of the iPhone 6. And I will not entirely disagree to that notion. The reason is because they made it so impossibly thin. It makes it harder to hold than the iPhone, than the previous iPhones. But here's the real kicker. It's not just because it's thin, it's a combination of it being extremely thin and light, it being bigger than the previous iPhone, and the edges being rounded as opposed to flat edges. I think that the combination of these 3 factors is making the iPhone 6 a little it's not as reassuring when you hold it.
But on the design front, I also wanted to ask you guys about the Z3. Does it stand like the iPhone 4S?
No,
it does.
No,
so this one has a lot of similarity to what the iPhone 4S look like. Yes. But even apart from that, what's your take on the design? What I do like is that it's waterproof.
Yes, it's completely waterproof. Now the thing is, it does not stand flat is because it's got a rounded. It's called a reflection frame that Sony calls it, and it's got rounded edges. So with tempered glass on the front and the back, they've made the corners in such a way that in case you drop the phone, it will
tend to drop on the side than the
so as the glass isn't damaged much.
Right.
So that is one. The design has remained fairly the same. So Sony calls it omni-balance design, and it's been there for all the Xperia Z series from 2013, the first one.
Right.
So that hasn't changed a lot, but the phone is an improvement over its predecessor, the Z1 Compact.
I give you oodles of money and I ask you to choose between the two. What would you go for?
Wow.
So we all know that you're an XS5 user, you're pro Android.
Yeah.
So let's keep that whole ecosystem aside for a second, right? And just hardware to hardware, what would you choose and why?
Purely based on hardware, it's honestly a very tough choice, but I do like the Sony a bit more.
Alright.
Firstly is the design. It's comfortable to hold.
Right.
On top of it, it's also got high-res audio, which has it's not there in a lot of smartphones. The Z3 does it, and it's got the sound quality is amazing. It's just brilliant. And the battery life, that is really important. It does not matter what phone you have if it's off. If it's not working, it's useless.
Yeah.
Wow.
So useless.
Battery life is really important.
I would go with the 5S.
Yeah.
It would be really cheap in the second-hand market today.
Yeah, I guess so.
Even a new one
iOS is my
is-
platform of choice, and it will be still usable till iOS 9 arrives. So I will stick with the 5S. I think I'm moving to iPhone 5S soon.
Nice. Wow.
So what do you think, Alan? Of all the devices, you've been very neutral.
No, honestly, none of these devices really excite me.
It has to be the Moto X.
No. Hold on. Hold your horses. Although the Moto X 2014 is a well-deserving upgrade to the Moto X, it brought aboard. It basically fixed all the complaints that people had with the X, the original X, with like a slow dual core, old gen chipset. They brought a new Snapdragon 801. The screen size is bigger, which I'm not a big fan of, but hey, at least it's 1080p display, and the phone is not that difficult to hold.
No, because of the OSs, I know you'll definitely be a bit inclined towards Android because there's a 360.
There is a so now I'm tied to the ecosystem.
What is that?
So this is the Moto 360. We've done a video review of this watch some time back, and I just replaced the 360's leather strap that came in with this
Titan.
Titan, which I got from Titan, local Titan ki dukaan, and I think it looks pretty
Looks
cool.
great,
Yeah, and because of this metal strap, it's now even more. It goes more unnoticed than before. So people don't really figure out it is a smartwatch till they see me interacting on the screen.
Okay, Google.
So
No, we've had
okay,
people,
Google.
Yeah.
Works. So here's the thing, and this is something that I've been writing. I've been writing a post about the same thing, where all these phones are great, man. But when you ask me to shell out like 40,000 and above for a phone, or even 30,000 for that matter, for that Moto X, I don't know. I'm spoiled now. After Xiaomi entered the game and how they've completely screwed me over.
He just wants to save money for the Moto 360.
Exactly. I mean, this has already drilled like a huge hole in my pocket.
Yeah.
So I'm not left with too much money because Uncle, how about that raise that we talked about? So
We would talk. I think you should upgrade to a Micromax.
Oh, yeah, right.
No, but I know instead of spending say 40,000 bucks on one phone, you can get a Moto 360 for 20 and the Xiaomi Mi 4 for 20.
I'm waiting for the Mi 4. Like I said the last time, I'm waiting for the Mi 4. I think for 20,000 it's going to be a steal because it has the same chipset as these flagship models, and the little tiny differences like high-res audio or maybe 4K video. It doesn't matter to me. I mean that camera, the 13MP camera on the Mi 4, I saw the shots that it takes with HDR enabled. I think it's like good enough for me, if you ask me, very honestly. And 3000 milliampere battery. So
Mi 4?
Yeah, I think I'm waiting for Mi 4. So.
Okay,
So
so
Xiaomi,
before
if you're listening, the Mi 4, you've got customers waiting for the Mi 4. Please get it.
pre-ordered. So before you wrap up, I think this Micromax Nitro is one of the better designed phones from Micromax. I really like the design.
Yeah.
I don't know much about this, so I'm waiting for you guys to tell me about this.
Well, for one, the design, it has the same leather stitching on the sides as which was first shown off on the Note 3, the Samsung Note 3, which was subsequently carry forwarded to the Grand 2. So it's ripping off. Come on, Micromax, seriously, you're ripping off of Samsung.
That's been
design
a trend
thing.
for a long time.
I know, but come on, like
not a lot of brands do, but
Right.
Micromax never mentioned its name on the front of the
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
We have tried putting a photo on Facebook by just hiding the logo,
Right,
and
right.
people have got confused. But for a user who's how much is this phone for?
This is 12,500. Yeah.
I'm going to a store and picking up this phone. I'm buying a 12,000 rupee phone. I'm probably not as tech savvy to know that hey, this is a rip-off of a Note or something else. We geeks will certainly notice it, but for a common Indian user,
Right.
for whom I have recently claimed that the iPhone is broken. So let's not go there. I'll have to do a day-long explanation of why I did that.
We're going to put all the relevant links down below, so be sure to check them out.
Yeah. But I think this would qualify as a really well-designed phone. Commercially, I think this is a hit.
So the display of this phone, it's a 720p display, and it has a very vibrant tone to the display. I think a lot of people are going to get razzled by looking at that display. It's got a octa-core processor, and
It has the right keywords on the spec.
right keyword is respectable, but no, beyond just the specs, I think even with heavy usage, even after using Asphalt 8, I think the phone runs just fine. It's not laggy. Cameras are decent.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it, between the 10 to 15k price point, the two phones that we know today that are worth recommending are the Moto G 2014 and the Asus Zenfone 5.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the only phone that you're probably going to get to see in a shop,
Yeah.
it's Micromax has that advantage. So I think
Micromax
it's a decent phone for that price. All right.
So,
So that's it. I think we're gonna wrap up this episode. This was another quick one. We would love to hear your comments. Check out like the last two episodes as well, and let us know if you enjoyed this show. And we'll be back next week.
see you then.
Bye bye.